Well, hello, everybody. I'm Huell Hauser.
Hi, I'm Huell Hauser.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm Huell Hauser.
Hi, I'm Huell Hauser. Wait a minute, there's a helicopter coming here.
Wait a minute. Oh, get out of here. Wow. Look. What is that? Let's get it out of here. Look at this. I saw one with my feet. Look at this.
Oh, my God.
And there they are, Louie, up there. That is an amazing sight to see
As we continue our search for California's gold.
It's fine. We'll figure it out. Because this is Huell's Gold. Here it goes.
We're actually doing it.
We're doing it. This is the podcast about California's gold.
And California's golden child.
Yeah. Well, he's a child of Tennessee, but he's a man of California. So this is it. We're going to be breaking down all 330 some odd episodes of California's Gold, the show about California that took place from 91
to
2012-ish. Yeah. And unfortunately it ended not because of anything to do with ratings or anything. It ended because Huell unfortunately passed away soon after that. And if you're listening to this on debut day, it's been 5 years since that happened. January 7th, we lost Huell. Mm-hmm. And we're doing this as a bit of a homage to him, the show that we love so much, and the spirit of Huell and California. But it's going to take a while, right?
Long time.
Yeah.
I think we're looking a little over six years.
Wow.
Let's give it 6.5 for some margin of error.
Yeah. So stick with us, hopefully. Unless we want to pound one out like every day. But I don't think people want to hear our voices every day.
No, I don't want to hear my voice every day.
Exactly. So once a week, pretty much how California's Gold was shown on PBS, which is a whole nother problem that we're having to deal with.
We'll get into that as we talk about the layout, though.
Yeah. But I guess we should start with why we're doing this. Mm-hmm. And it all started with my first visit to the California's Gold Huell Hauser Memorial Exhibit Museum Extravaganza at Chapman University in Orange, which is quite a great place. It was a big deal for me to go there because I've been a fan a long time. And when I got home, I was just, binging on Huell, and I was thinking to myself, man, it really is a bummer that there can't be another California's Gold. They can't reboot it because Huell is the show. And I was just thinking, is there anyone who could do it? Any other way to do it? And I thought it'd be cool if like a host revisited places, but that would be a lot of work, and would I even want to watch that?
Well, could you be Huell 2.0?
I couldn't.
Probably not.
No.
And,
yeah, that's an impossibility. But I just kept going like, wow, it'd be cool if there was like maybe a podcast that broke down every episode. Why don't I do that? And that just started. That was back in May of this past year. And we've been talking and working and building ourselves up to do this for all that time. And here it is. We're going to... This is Huell's Gold. It's been a long time coming. But we definitely want to keep it in the spirit of the original show. We're not redoing the shows. We're analyzing the shows.
And I think that we have to come at it from our perspective, because I don't think if we try to recreate the show, we would actually do it successfully.
No.
We can try at least to capture the spirit of what he was doing.
Well, one thing that California's Gold had a lot of was history, but history is always changing. And a lot has changed in the places the Huell went, especially in the early days, which you'll hear in the first few episodes.
Well, for example, episode number 2, we're going to get into the Central Coast. Mm-hmm. And really, it's just a sad episode.
In itself, it's a fun episode.
No, it's a fun episode, but the content of the episode, if you look at it, fast forward to today,
Yeah.
you can't visit a lot of these things anymore.
No.
A lot of the sites that he went to.
Which I did. I went to a couple of these places, and it's a sad sight.
Did you feel sad?
Oh yeah, because I watched the episode, and then I went to the location, which it's a motel. Just a spoiler alert. And it's amazing how you can see the episode, and it would excite you to go to a place, which it did. I went there because of the episode, and it's gone. But it still it still made it fun to see the passing of time happening, because other episodes that we'll be getting into pretty soon will take place in our home city and county, Bakersfield and Kern County, and it's a trip to see like what downtown Bakersfield looked like in '91, because I haven't seen that since I was a little kid driving in my mom's car, not caring about it, and now I care a lot. But that's the general idea of what we want to do here. And
well, speaking of being from Bakersfield, we could probably talk about that a little bit. Mm-hmm. So when I first watched Huell, it was actually, I didn't first watch him at this, but this is the first memory that sticks out, is one of his visiting episodes.
Yeah.
In Bakersfield.
Mm-hmm. That's a later one too.
It's a lot later, and he comes to the city, and he really found the spots that locals would recommend to you if you want a unique Bakersfield experience. And when he's going to these spots, he makes you feel like you live in the coolest town ever.
Yeah.
He just has that personality, and yeah, I think that's why people like to watch him. Is because you can be from a nothing town. We come from a town that has a lot of self-hating
and negative press for decades.
Oh, that's very true.
Yeah.
And so watching it, you can't help but say, yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah. So that's what I like about Huell, is that he made you feel like you were living in a cool place in California.
And on the flip side, when you see him in places that you haven't been or would probably never go.
Yeah.
Like, and one of our first episodes is going to be about a town called Locke. Like, hearing about it, if you want to check it out, go to Wikipedia, Locke, California. It's interesting, but you wouldn't want to necessarily drive however many hours to get there. But I watched the episode. I want to go to Locke.
Yeah.
I want to see what Locke's like now, because like I said, it's an early episode. It's number 6 or something on our list here, and we'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we'll even do updates from time to time, because I've been to a couple places for a few episodes that are many down the line, and I want to go multiple times. For example, Solvang. I hated Solvang as a kid. Hated it. Went there for 2 days with my family, and I wanted to run away from my family. I was going to run away. And then I went this year, could not get enough of it. The Able Skeevers, the Kringles. Oh man. But that's kind of how we are. We get excited about this history stuff, and we both studied history a long time in different fields, but California history has been top of my list for quite a number of years now. I guess it started when we took that class at BC.
Yeah.
Shout out to Randy Beeman. And we just got interested because it was always fun because you can read about history and enjoy it when it's a far off place or a far off time, but when it's in an environment that you inhabit, whether it's the city or the state, I don't know. I always enjoyed that. That's why we're into our own local history here,
right.
And part of the historical society. We go to the museum lectures and all that kind of stuff. I mean, Huell went to the museum. We stood in the same spot he stood. That's as close as we got. Because there may be a lot of people out there who have met him, seen him in passing, went to events he was at, but we didn't get that pleasure of meeting him, unfortunately.
So something about Huell that I really enjoy, at least watching the show, is when he goes and visits these places, I sort of, I trust him.
Yeah.
He has like this character about him, or his aura about him.
Yeah.
Just something about Huell that, hey, I trust this guy. I trust outsourcing, or him sort of finding these hidden gems in California. And you can trust that when you go there, if they are still there, that, hey, you have an interesting perspective on it.
Mm.
So I've heard someone refer to him as everyone's tour guide.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that that's a good mantra, or a good
Moniker?
title for him.
Yeah. Yeah, because even when he would go to a place that, like Solvang, like I had mentioned, that he was iffy on, because he self-admittedly didn't want to go to tourist attractions. He never wanted to go to Disneyland or anything like that where people already are going. He wanted to highlight lesser-known areas and places in California. So he goes to a place, even with a skeptical eye in the beginning, and just because of his personality, brings it out in people, brings it out in the places, and who knows what's on the cutting room floor. He could have met tons of jerks, but he doesn't seem to meet many jerks along the way.
Yeah.
And
It's true. I mean, he just had that personality, and you spoke about Solvang. I mean, in the episode, he stops a family in the middle of the street. And cars just kind of drive
for
around
several minutes too.
Yeah,
It's not 10 seconds of middle of street interview.
Or when we watch, I mean, I don't want to ruin a lot of this stuff or be spoilers, have it be a spoiler, but when he's talking to someone in Locke, the guy's about to eat a bite of steak.
Yeah.
He stops him.
Hey, that looks good. And just people never seem too upset. I mean, I got to admit, if someone like him came up to me and stopped me mid-bite, I don't think I could get mad at him either. Like,
No.
he would, especially, with the camera and the microphone right in your face, it might be a little off-putting. And sometimes you could see people a little back up a little bit, but he always brings them back in. You see him like put the hand on the shoulder and just have that jovial kind of personality about him. But he's a great guy. If you're listening to this, it's a great show. It's a great time. It went on for 22 years. I think 2012 was the last year new episodes aired. It doesn't seem like reruns are going to be stopping anytime soon, which is great. But this may not be as common of knowledge as that we may feel because we're so entrenched in this, but nearly every episode of California's Gold and all the other Huell Productions shows are available online to stream for free on the Chapman University website. And that's the only reason we can even do this podcast, because 300 and some odd shows, I've got maybe 20 of them on VHS, but it would be impossible to track them all down. So it was a great thing he did, leaving his life's work to Chapman. And it's a great work that they've done digitizing, and there's
Just organizing.
it's
systematizing and everything.
There's a episode list, which is what we're basing everything on here, and like a search function that works really well because there's key terms and everything, descriptions. It's great.
Well, with that said, we can maybe talk about the layout of the show. For those who are Huell fans to the nth degree, there's a minor hiccup when it comes to putting the shows in order.
Yeah.
And
There's not a lot of chronology. I think that's the word. There's not a lot of data on when these shows first aired.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when looking at the episode guide, and you see a 100 level or the 100 series, the intuitive thing to think of,
That's got to be number 1.
101, that's episode 1.
Yeah.
But as you said, if you follow the graying of Huell's hair,
Exactly. That's what I've had to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
because let's just say, give an example. Episode 101, I think, is about the Special Olympics, which definitely looks like early 90s Huell. But go down the list to like 120. He's at the Coachella Music Festival in like 2008. But then you go to the second season, 201, which is actually our episode number 1. It's obvious. This is where the show was starting. Now, they may not have gone in this order, 201, 202, but that's what we're going to stick to. So if you want to see where we are, watch the episodes, which will have links to each one in the description of each show, so you can watch along with us or just watch at your own leisure. You can do that, but that's what we're using. Chapman University episode list, the PDF, downloadable right there on the right if you're on the home page. And that's what we got to stick to. Because
you're going to have something. So the official first episode that was announced is actually 207.
Yeah.
And so we've decided not to make it confusing and have 207 and then 201, 202, 203, 204, 205, skip to 208. We decided not to do that, and we'll just keep it in order. So the diehard fans, you can listen to episode 8 if you want it to be the first episode.
You have to wait a few weeks, but as far as the show goes, there's going to be a lot of clips of Huell. You'll be hearing him a lot. Any of the funny moments, any of the descriptive voiceovers he does in those episodes, which they're pretty succinct. They really like break down the history of a area or a boat or a person in 45 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
He's good at that. And we also have devised a little rating system. Now, it may be kind of unfair to rate these episodes because I think they're all A+.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I think if you watch it, you'll be partial to
yeah.
your area and whatnot. So,
but I gotta say, even when, like I told you the other day, like I don't know about this episode, man. He's just looking at a canoe, but it's still funny to just see him interacting with this canoe guy, and visually, it is a lot of shots of a canoe and a guy picking it up and putting it down. But Huell goofing with this guy is fun. But we're going to have what we're calling an amazing rating because everyone knows Huell's catchphrase, that's amazing. And some episodes, he throws that phrase out a lot. So we're going to keep track of that. There's going to be an amazing rating that you'll see in the description of each episode. We'll talk about it.
Are we going to have a count?
Well, oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
We're going to have a count for each one as I watch these episodes and take my notes. I got the amazing rating right there on the side. So, some episodes you'll be flipping through, years down the line when we're doing these 700-800 level episodes. And that's when he's on a roll with the amazings. You see like, oh, wow, that's a 10-star amazing rating there.
So you're getting 15... the later episodes, we're getting 15 to 30. That's amazing.
It could be, yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. So that's basically what we're going to be doing. It's going to be fun. We may come up with new techniques of doing things. We're definitely going to want to have some guests from time to time, whether they be people from the show. That would be a dream come true.
Or possibly from the historical societies.
Oh, yeah,
if
definitely.
We can reach out to the historical societies and see if they can shed some more light on the areas that Huell visited.
And listeners, anyone who met him, has been to a place, is from a place, anything like that, it's definitely what we want this to be. It's a community-driven thing. Like, we're not experts by any means about any of this stuff. We're learning too. This is a
Right.
learning experience for us because I haven't watched all the episodes. Many,
Right,
but not
right.
all of them. And this is my chance to do it. This is an excuse for me to sit around and watch every California's Gold episode.
So we're not coming at people or doing the episode in such a way where we're experts
No.
and you try to, say very obscure facts about Huell Hauser.
No.
Like, that's not really what we're doing. We're kind of just the average person who likes Huell Hauser and wanted to see his work extended and just keep it alive. Any way that we can help do that. That's kind of just our thing. Not experts, average people, but we're just really like Huell Hauser and we really liked his work.
Yeah, and we'll be having other average people like our friends and family who we're going to force to be on the show.
They don't know it yet.
Our wives do.
Our wives do.
Yeah. Where you may not hear them if we can't convince them to do it, but I think we can because they have interesting vantage points and they've been to places we haven't. For example, your wife has worked. How long did she work at In-N-Out?
7.5 years.
That's a long.
Yeah, so
That's a long
she's
time to work at
behind,
In-N-Out.
behind the scenes at In-N-Out, so she can.
And if you've
provide
watched that
something.
episode, you could tell that's one of Huell's favorite places. It's one of a lot of people's favorite episodes is Huell at In-N-Out.
There's that picture of him having the burger come at you.
Yeah. So that'll be a fun one because she's given us a lot of little tidbits of information, just talking about In-N-Out days. Mm-hmm. So it'll be fun to hear about that. And yeah, again, any listeners that want to give us any information, please email us. Email's in the description. If you follow us on Instagram, which you should, we're always throwing up funny Huell pictures. And when we go to California's Gold locations, we got us looking goofy doing that stuff. So,
And that Instagram is Huell's Gold,
yes,
which, yeah,
Huell's Gold podcast, one word. That's what it is. And yeah, this is it. So again, this is episode 0. And if you're downloading this, you should see that there's another episode that's available right now, episode 1. And that's for California's Gold, episode 201, Fort Ross. And you'll see the link to the video in the description. You can watch along with us, watch before, listen to us babble on about what Huell's saying. And we'll definitely have more information on Fort Ross and Francis Drake, everything that's in that episode. So
and just if our experience around the surrounding area.
Yeah.
That'll all be in,
hey, you'll see. So head on over to that one. And we just hope that you come along with us next time as we continue our search for Huell's Gold.